Quick shout out to the people, by the way. I didn't tell these guys before we started, but we hit 63 views on the last lineup builder show, so that was quite a milestone for the season. So thank you for that. Like and subscribe as always. And again, you guys can always leave us comments. We do our review. We give you our transparent receipts basically for the week. If you guys want to do the same, that's always welcome. Speaking of what we got right, what we got wrong, I got the spreads up here, Donnie. I'll just kick it over to you, and you can take it from there.
Yeah, I know we got a couple extra things going on at the end of the show, so I'll quick fire the spread pick back-to-back weeks of getting it right. That brings us to 7-9 on the season. I will say, if we want to do an extra one for this Thursday slate, if we find a spread we like, to give us a chance to go 500, I'm not against that. But we're up to 7-9 as a group on our locks. Me and Logan both went 2-0 this week on our spread picks. I'm in the lead at 20-12. If I get one more wrong at minimum, I'll tie for first. Or one more right at minimum, I'll tie for first. Logan's 3 games behind at 17-15. And Gov had to get the last bit of Christmas colors in for us with the only one wrong. Shout out Gardner Minshew. Going 1-1, bringing him to 14-17-1 on the season. Back-to-back champion, finally completely out of the picture. I think he had to have a downslope eventually. Right, Logan? He couldn't win every year.
He wants to, you can tell. He wants to.
That's coming from a Patriots fan. You have to.
We had a half decade being down.
I will remember that. Elephants never forgets.
I mean, Gov, your team is literally fighting for the playoffs, maybe in the worst division this year. I mean, obviously the worst division. But
dude, there's so many great scenarios. Did you know that there's a scenario where if Atlanta wins out and we're all 8-9,
no,
the Panthers have the tiebreaker. But if it's just me and Tampa at 8-9, Tampa has the tiebreaker.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
That's absolutely
there's and I could just beat Seattle and it wouldn't fucking matter anymore. Or any of all these things.
To my point, you are a fan of a complicated team. I'm a fan of a team that's 0-16. We finally have a bit of a ride. Now it looks like we might be on the downswing for a minute. Donnie has like a 5-minute span where his team is terrible. And then they're right back with Drake May, feeling the sunshine. And they want us to think, like, we went through it. I mean, I get
I enjoy like just good teams as a whole. Like even when the Patriots were bad, I could sit back and say like I enjoy watching the Chiefs dominate. Not as a Chiefs fan, just like as I enjoy dominance in any sport. It's fun to watch somebody just be better than everyone else. That's hot take of the week.
Someone mentioned how Andy Reid, by the way, has to be careful of the Bill Belichick effect, where if he sticks around too long, he could get that Bill Belichick shine where it's like, all what he did before could rub off. So,
Boston fan. You're a Boston fan. You've had a championship caliber team in some sport for longer than you've been alive.
This is true. This has been 100% factual. I can't even debate that. I have never seen as a Boston sports fan a team that doesn't at least have a say.
Even the one year the Patriots were bad, I think the Celtics went to the finals, or maybe it was the Bruins, but it was something.
In 08 when Brady got hurt after the loss in the Super Bowl, it was the Celtics that won the championship. In 13, the Patriots got upset by the Ravens in the divisional round. All of a sudden, guess what?
I will remember.
Here come the Red Sox.
Speaking of competitions and three-peats and all of that stuff, we're going to do our holiday special, if you will. We usually bring this back on Thanksgiving for the Thanksgiving slate. Since they do now do it for Christmas, we're gonna do the same thing. It'll be a cage match. So it's a 50K salary like DraftKings rules, but we are doing a snake draft within it.
Yeah. Do we want to review the last week lineup really quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
Last week was a bad week for me. I had no cashing lineups, full loss.
I did a Saturday
Luckily,
slate.
I was saved by all my best ball teams that cashed out.
I did a Saturday slate where I on Saturday and I didn't win anything on Sunday, so I still was negative like a couple of dollars, but this year I'm so
I hit on the New England showdown because I faded Henderson and Lamar.
Yeah, that's
that was the only thing
wow.
that kept my weekend afloat because fading those two gave me a solid lineup in my showdown.
I'm kind of the same as you, Gov. This lineup lost. This is our show lineup. I had a lineup that doubled, that basically, so it made up some money. So then I played on last night, won a bit of money, but lost in another contest. So like I've been on just this roller coaster all season. But that's part of DFS, the highs and the lows, and really it's about maintaining when you're at the low. I really do believe. Speaking of which, was our lineup.
I'm just looking at how we get Jawan Johnson in there, and I remember talking to you about at halftime, like we were looking so good because Johnson had 15 points at halftime, and he still flamed, but he only got one more catch for 3 yards after half, and that's
Olave did everything,
and that's really crazy to me. We got to Gainwell because we didn't play the estimate, which was nice. So that Johnson swap was beautiful.
A-Chain has a 50-yard run out the gate for a touchdown and ends with this. Like, that's crazy.
We had a lot of first half, great success. And we got the close. So you'd think Collins would have been involved in a close game against Vegas, and he did duds.
I know it's not Devin A-Chain's fault, but that's why this type of player just drives me nuts. And I know it's the Gibbs kind of prototype, but for some reason, he just seems to finish what A-Chain cannot. He had another game this season where he had 15 points, gets injured in the first half, and doesn't play any of the second half, and finishes with 19 points. And this game just reminds me very much the same, where it's a very boom kind of performance. You're like, well, he's going to go for what, 40, at least 30, and then he finishes with 18. I'm kind of with you, Gov. It was disappointing.
Well, and I expected Ewers to check down more. Ewers was bad, by the way. But I expected Ewers to check down more. That was just a failed idea in the grand scheme. When, let's be honest, how do you not play
AJ? He could have just been Bijan, who went off was amazing. So that was really a killer play.
Yeah,
we weren't that far off with this lineup. It looks like.
Yeah, we really.
A-Chain to Bijan would have cashed us nicely, even with everything else.
I feel like there was just a lot of landmines in this week's slate, where if you got on it, you didn't just dud out. You hit the snowflake and slid right down the hill. It was a lot of snowflakes. I mean, obviously the KC stuff failed. I know some people even played.
That's the difference. It's the 24% JMO snowflake, the 22% Worthy snowflake, the 18% A-Chain, 15% almost in Nico. That's a lot of high ownership snowflakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just say Houston, since we haven't mentioned that game, I think they were lucky to get away with that game against the Raiders. You could say the Raiders outplayed them a lot of ways. Their offense just looked terrible in this game.
Yeah, but it's...
Will the Raiders try this week against the Giants? That's the key.
My thing with when you get in that game against a Vegas and you're Houston, your offense, the offense isn't awesome. You almost just kind of play conservative and wait till the Raiders fuck it up because that's what they do. So I will say, Houston kind of played it the way you'd expect, just gave up a little bit too much points.
Yeah, but like you said, Donnie, getting on Gainwell was smart by us. I really liked your play with Ted McMillan. If you just looked at our 1 o'clock slate with Johnson and McMillan, I'm we're in great shape. But I think that Houston team is what really did it because we had a CJ Stroud and then Collins. And Collins hasn't had any smash games, but he's been putting up 15 to 20 points, pretty consistently. So I think that was one of his lowest performances. We're just not going to overcome that.
Yeah.
You guys did mention Bijan, so I'll show a lineup that did cash slightly that was just a bit off of that lineup, just for transparency purposes, just to show we don't lose everything. This was very similar to what we were kind of building, kind of in a way. I didn't have McMillan here. I paid down to Coker. I still had Johnson.
Still had J.
I
Paid up Bijan instead of A-Chain. Yeah, like this is a solid lineup here. I like this.
My favorite play this week was getting Evans and putting Tet and just getting rid of the rest of the game. Don't worry about the rest of it. Get the top 2 weapons. And Evans, he easily could have had 3 touchdowns this week. They gave him 3 different shots in the red zone, which is what he scored his first touchdown on. So they kept trying to go back to that well, and it didn't hit again. That's credit to the Panthers defense. Those corners have been really good all year, but
to that point, you could tell that Baker and Evans trust each other almost completely, and it's almost like he's like, you know what, the season's on the line. I'm just going to go to my horse, and he targeted Evans a lot. I'm pretty proud of that play. I knew we were C.J. Stroud in the other lineup, so I played Jordan here off the cheap 3% ownership. So I mean that didn't hurt. So this lineup didn't end up cashing, but even then I felt like I left points on the board.
And to that point on the Evans and Baker thing, even the last play where the pick was thrown, it was a miscommunication, scramble drill. Good Panthers defense again kind of just showed up, and Baker tried to get it to Evans, and Evans read the scramble drill wrong. He turns around, and it ends up a pick. That was obviously what ended the game, but even that's a good target at the end of the game. That's the guy who you're going to in one-on-one coverage. Evans catches that ball most of the time. I feel like they were not on the same page.
And speaking of just like blind trust, I mean, that play pretty much describes it. Like, you literally are just going to trust a guy to be there and not even second guess it. And literally it cost him a game. So that tells you how much he trusts Mike Evans. Like, that's blind trust right there. But we can get over to the cage match now. I know it's a special holiday. Maybe you guys will have some plays that you liked. I don't know if you have even looked over the slate that much.
I did a dummy lineup today, knowing that we were doing a cage
for Christmas. Yeah,
I'm definitely not looking at projections in the background because I haven't looked at anything yet. Certainly not.
He's got his numbers. I got my thought process of, this doesn't look too bad, and then it ends up being a little chalky. Whatever.
Just quickly though, like Netflix paid a lot for this, and I would think last year it was a success. They brought in some of their Netflix influences. They had just signed a big deal with the WWE, so they brought in like CM Punk, and they had the Chicago game, and they really blended like the Netflix feel and the specialty of it. They had, crossover commentators. I really like the presentation, and I expect the presentation to feel special. I think it will feel kind of like a WrestleMania moment, almost a bit of a spectacle outside of the NFL. Although I will say they got to be very disappointed how much money they gave, how much spectacle they want this to be, and these are the games that they got. They got backups on backups. Like Marcus Mariota isn't even likely to play in this game. JJ McCarthy, who's not even a marquee guy, is out. So now you're using like third.
It's Brosmer. Yeah, you're getting Brosmer, you're getting Mariota or someone else. You're getting. It's not even going to be Minshew, who's on Kansas City.
No, well, Minshew, that's not on Netflix. That's Prime. That last game's Prime. But to your point, like I think they are. I don't know if they're guaranteed 2 Christmas games every year. Last year, I thought it was only 1 for Netflix because it was a Wednesday. But this year, because it's Thursday, and I'm sure maybe next year it will be 2 or 3 again, until it ends up being a Tuesday night game. But so they got a couple years of good chunks of games, and hopefully, you're going to have hit and misses this late in the year.
Let's be honest, the NFL is really good about like trying new things and appealing to a younger audience. So these games are still going to do very well because, like I say, the pageantry, the mystique around the games is really well done. I think the pregame's going to feel special.
And to be fair, if you looked at the records last year, these would be great games. If you looked at the fact that these had the potential to be competitive because they're divisional games.
Yeah.
Like everything said, these could have been good. But Washington's been injured and sucked this year. So that's not a great game. Minnesota has not been the team they were last year. So neither has really Detroit. So that's just a mid game for that division. Same thing. Yeah. If the Kansas City had one more win and Mahomes starting, that would be an amazing game.
It would.
Game of the night, full stack.
And the one saving grace that they got is the Detroit game still matters because if Detroit wins and Green Bay loses both games, they could still make the playoffs. So they know Detroit's going to try to play.
Right.
Like they know it's going to
Dallas is going to keep trying to win just to keep their spot in the playoffs.
And I think Dallas will.
They're not probably beating Philly, but they need to stay.
Could I argue that Netflix is happy that's Dallas because Dallas will just pull numbers anyway? Like, no matter how good or bad they are, it's just Dallas is the moneymaker.
They will.
Is it hilarious that they just switched up the first and second game, but are essentially giving us Thanksgiving?
It's true.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, usually Mahomes is at night. It's either Mahomes, Burrow, or Lamar, and then you get the Detroit game and the Dallas game. So we're getting the Dallas game, the Detroit game, but they're both on the road, and then we're getting our obligatory AFC quarterback.
Yeah, I just want to mention that quickly because, like you said it, a few weeks ago, even these games would have looked a lot better. They would have, I think Netflix had a good slate here. Just unfortunate things happened. But
you played these exact 3 games on Thanksgiving a month ago, and they're actually decent games.
Yeah. But gamblers are going to make any game entertaining, and people are still going to watch it just for the DFS angles. Like, this slate is marred with all kinds of outs, with all kinds of questionable, with pricing unique because they want people to play and they want people to fit in, unique, basically to know their players. We always see the marquee players get marked down by 500 or 600 dollars essentially. So now what it does is it opens up a lot of game theory, I feel like. So we can get into it now. How do we want to do number generator for pick selection?
Yeah, that's what I have it pulled up.
All right.
I'm going to go number 87.
All right, let me go 25.
$50.
All right. It is 98. So it's me, then Gov, and then Logan.
Yep.
And I'll do a good job of swapping screens so you guys can see the rosters. If I forget, you guys can just yell at me and keep me on track, but we should be all right.
All right. And I am not going to mess around on the first pick. There are no rules again for the first pick like we usually do. I'm just going to go ahead and throw one of the few good quarterbacks we have on here in a game that I think will at least have passing. Give me Dak.
Yeah, by the way, we're not going to build a line, so I'll just say quickly my little nuggets. It looks like Dak Prescott will be probably projected to be the highest owned quarterback.
I think he's the only quarterback I'll play. I really don't imagine I'll be anywhere but Dak this week.
Yeah. So I think he'll be the highest owned, but Donnie, you can pair that and make that unique. Like, just don't worry about ownership at quarterback. Make sure you get the raw points at quarterback, I would say.
He's definitely one of the 3 owned quarterbacks.
He's not my favorite,
not the highest.
There are 3 quarterbacks that are playable, and the rest are you're asking to lose. You might not, but you're asking to.
He's not the highest right now.
Okay. Actually, that's a good question. So, of the 6 quarterbacks, 3 are playable, 3 are asking to lose. I like that thought process. Let's extrapolate on that since it's going to be my pick next. So, I want to see if my numbers, because I'm about to go with the full leverage because I think you're right, which means I'm staring at the quarterback I'm going to take. So, you clearly think Dak is one of the 3.
Yes.
Who is the number 2?
My number 1 and number 2 in this order would be Jared Goff.
Yeah, I'm going Goff as my 2.
So Dak, Goff are 1-2.
Yep.
So here's the determination. Who's 3? Because like I said, right now there's 3 guys pulling 20% or higher ownership and 3 guys at sub 5.
Now you're asking, so it's making me think that it's a trick question because I want to say Bo, but it's probably going to end up being whoever starts for Washington, because why not?
It would be Johnson, but I do think it's Bo Nix.
I also think it's Bo Nix. The ownership does go to the Washington guy right now. So you can just give me Bo Nix.
Is that the Philip Rivers effect? Is that like everyone just saw the old man this like comeback
Johnson
syndrome
kind of
also.
always does weird stuff though. Like when he plays, it's like he passes efficiently. He doesn't usually.
To be
make
fair, they
throws.
have Mariota in. If it's Mariota, he's shown to be able to run the offense fine against the horrible Dallas defense. I'm not against that, but I'm not in if it's Johnson.
Yeah, if it's Mariota with his full complement of weapons, I would agree. Like now that Terry McLaurin's back, they did look better. But I'm not in on Johnson. Johnson does open up a lot of salary, so there is that angle. But I don't think you need to get there.
Not this week. No, there's plenty of
For
other
me,
stuff.
anyways. Especially on a 3-game slate where we're competing against each other, you definitely want the raw points in that regard.
All right, your next two, Logan. You got next two.
So you talk about next, right, Gov?
I did. Mine is up on screen, so when you pop mine in.
That's what I thought. So I'll just take Jared Goff. We'll get the quarterbacks out of the way. I think he's the safest to stack with just because the Lions offense is very concentrated and they have to win. So like I feel like they have the most likely to keep competing throughout the game. Is it my pick on the back end or?
Yeah, it's Snake. So you get a second.
Now I know I could have waited on quarterback, but I was just trying to keep the symmetry and get my quarterback out of the way. So because I want to make sure I get this guy because I just think it's that much of a priority, I want to make sure that I get Justin Jefferson on the bring back.
I don't think anyone was going to take Jettas.
He's cheap enough. I want to make sure I got my bring back.
Wasn't thinking about going there. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I would have never picked Jettas. He would have never made it on my team.
This would be the night for him to do it, though.
He's looked better with McCarthy in the last few weeks, and I think Brosmer might just force it to him.
Well, he didn't last time. Not efficiently. It was pretty bad last time.
He was also going against Seattle. He did look better in that Giants game when he did come in for JJ in this last game. But to your point, Donnie, it's hard to tell because like against Seattle, when you're that inexperienced, he's an undrafted rookie free agent too. So it's like he hadn't come with a high profile.
All right, Gov, where are you going with pick 2?
All right, so all right, let's just start getting my stack ready. Give me RJ Harvey.
Okay, makes sense. I will say, I want to clarify the rules on this. If you took Aaron Jones and Aaron Jones is ruled out, you could then go to the next cheapest available guy. So if Mason got taken, sucks to suck, I guess. But if Mason's available, you can just go down to Mason. If not, you'd have to go down to the next lowest, someone cheaper on the same team.
Right. Speaking of which, it does look like Mason is doubtful, is what I'm hearing in that game. So,
I just saw the 2 Q tags, so I will double check.
Aaron Jones got like 24 touches last week, so he is in line for a lot of volume if Mason does end up missing. He did miss that second half of last week. It's your pick, right?
I feel it's I got the next 2. I feel like I feel like I got to do it and just get this out of the way. Give me Gibbs. Give me the most talented running back on board. And to pair with that, let me go with I'll get George Pickens in there against Washington.
Pickens took a bit of a hiatus for a couple weeks there, randomly in the middle. Like he started off really hot, was consistent, took a little bit of a sabbatical, and then came back on fire against the Bolts last week.
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is, it's tough because he's not playing the same position anymore. Like he's been switched to the default X, and the X isn't getting as many good routes. Where CD gets all those routes now. Mm-hmm. So you got to find a way to get Pickens more creative routes if you're gonna, in my opinion, if you're gonna have him, you got to have Pickens more creative routes because he looked so good when he had those routes, or at least flip him out who's playing where.
I agree with that. I'm enjoying though. I got to remember to switch the screens, but I'm enjoying not having to click all the buttons tonight. I gotta say.
All right, Gov, back to you.
All right.
I'm curious, Donna, how many people are going to watch this and be like, what are they doing? Like, I wonder how many people are actually going to get confused.
Yeah,
like,
well, you know,
this is rough. Let me see your team again, Donnie, because I need to know what I got to block with you. I'll admit.
I got.
You're the one I got to worry about.
I got Gibbs, Pickens, and Dak.
Okay, then. All right, I have to take CD then.
I felt like you were going to do that. I felt like immediately, as soon as whichever one I didn't take, I knew Gov was going to take to block me, or at least take some.
I was also thinking about taking Ferguson, but I have other ideas at tight end. All right, so now it's 2 to Logan.
Yep. It is. Okay, this one is pretty easy for me. Give me St. Brown, and then give me Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're going to get the rookie involved. I think this will be the week. I just can't imagine. With down to the third-string quarterback, they're already in development stages, whether they want to or not. I don't think they're going to run out Hunt. I think this is going to be Smith is going to get more.
They didn't practice today. The Chiefs canceled practice today. So it's interesting. Like, I don't even know what's happening. Why do you cancel practice? I know they got a little banged up, but you think you'd want your young quarterback.
You cancel practice today so that everyone can have Christmas today, since they will have to be away from their families all day for a Sunday night game. They will not, from that morning till that night, they will not be with their families on Christmas Day. That's just a good thing for the Kansas City team to do. It's like, you know what?
Maybe I'm
no practice today. Go have Christmas with your family.
Maybe you
will have to be here at 11 a.m. on Thursday, and you won't be back until after the game.
It is a good point for. I know Penny Sewell talked about like how unfair it is for the Lions to be for Thanksgiving and Christmas, but we forget that Kansas City has the latest of the games. I think it starts at like 7:30, so they are going to, especially if you have young kids.
It's kickoff.
Yeah, but like, you can ask any football player, if you're normally playing Sunday or Monday Night Football, you're in the process of the game from noon, 11 o'clock until that night game. You're not in contact with family. You're at the facility. You're practicing. You're getting warmed up. You're en route. You're all that stuff. And that's what they're going to have to be on Christmas. Yeah. So, yeah, it makes sense. Give them today off. Tomorrow's travel.
Well, they don't travel. They're home. That's what I thought.
Right, but like tomorrow, like Wednesday would be the travel day.
Right.
Where like, or whatever. It would still entail them being at the facilities, treating it like a normal right before game day. They are now treating it like a Saturday, Sunday for a game. And like they're playing the Sunday night game.
We are sports junkies, but I do want to say, do you guys think just because we're not doing it in this slate per se, where we have to worry about late swap because we're just playing the three of us, but how much do you think a late swap is going to factor in, given that most people will be at Christmas dinners and stuff like that? Do you think there'll be an edge to that if you can pay attention to lineups?
I mean, there is if you build your lineups that way. Yeah, like a lot of people talk about building clones of certain lineups, like build the same lineup 4 times just with different afternoon plays. And then if it hits, you can get a 3 or 4 different shots the next game.
You can get different shots.
Like, that's a strategy you can do on these 3-game slates when you have these intervals. It's like, I'm going to build a lineup where everything in the second and third game doesn't really matter. I'm just want to see if these 2 guys hit or these 2 guys hit or these 2 guys hit in the first game.
I know people did that in the Thanksgiving slate, for example, with Wicks. Once Wicks hit, like some people had some shell lineups with Wicks, and then once Wicks hit, then they pivoted to a lot more of their Bengal stuff. They took more upside shots than to try to get to first. So just figured I'd mention it since we have a lot of casuals that listen to this show. It's your pick, right? No, it's Donnie's pick, right?
It's Govs. You got to switch to his lineup.
I knew I'd mess up eventually.
All right. Let me grab a little bit of value.
I know Smith is the upside. Like he's risky because he hasn't got a lot of work, but I felt like he was the cheapest of the upside value that I liked. So I'm curious to see where you'll go. I do think there's some good wide receiver value.
There could be a lot of good running back value if a lot of these guys don't play. But
I heard little Jordan Humphreys is getting some buzz. Naylor is obviously an interesting play.
Let's take Troy Franklin.
You're just full Bo Nixon it, huh?
I gotta go full Bo.
All I know is you're gonna have one really good high scoring quarter. You just don't know what it will be.
Right? Exactly. I'll be sweating that the whole game. And then the third quarter, I'll feel amazing. And then I'll be sweating it into the fourth.
Now, Donnie, you won the first one of these, right, for Thanksgiving?
I've won every cage match we've done, but except for 1 year when Evan did. No, I have won every cage match we've done. I've yet to lose a cage match.
By the way, what did you win? Are we just playing for bragging rights? Because sometimes I turn off my brain, but
we had something on Thanksgiving that we said. But
okay, I'll go back and watch the tapes. Maybe figure out what it is.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I got the next 2. If you want to switch over the lineup, I'm gonna put in the actual Kansas City value that actually got work. Screw the they should do this. Just let me get Pacheco. All the targets, all the check downs down low. This is something we got to look at just overall. 7 targets last week with the backup quarterbacks in Kansas City. He got 81% of the snaps. He got all the running back workload, essentially. It wasn't a lot, but the targets added up. And that's all you need from like a running back sometimes. And I will also put in my big value piece that I will be playing pretty much in every lineup. Give me Logan's fan favorite, Treylon Burks. 82% of the snaps last week. He's kind of in a weird target monster, and he gets red zone targets. I don't care who's the quarterback. I know Johnson will throw it up to him. I've seen Mariota throw it up to him. I'm going to swing for that touchdown upside at 3,300 this week.
You do got to take 1 or 2, off the wall kind of strange plays in these Christmas slates.
82% of snaps last week. He's getting the offensive trust. Treylon Burks, I don't know if he's any good, really, but they clearly like him enough to play him.
The reason I liked him was because he's an athletic freak, and people always just said that, the offense didn't know how to use him, and then he got hurt. He could be a late bloomer. I don't know, but one thing is true.
It had nothing to do with the offense. He wasn't in shape. He was lazy and wasn't in shape, and maybe he got a reality check and he's something now. But we'll see.
You're not biased at all, Donnie.
I'm not biased. He was his first year in training camp. He was not in shape, and he was super, always taking breaks and getting sick on the side. He was not ready.
Yeah. It is true, though. He's getting a lot of jump ball opportunities with the Commanders.
All right. Those... which one do I want? Yeah, I'll take this. Give me Montgomery.
Somebody I've also been thinking about playing this week a lot It is interesting.
The running back situation on a small slate is always tough in my mind.
Yeah.
Because
it's always Detroit.
It's a 3-game slate is close enough to a showdown that I have to worry about that random touchdown from a second-string running back that could make him optimal in a lineup.
The problem is Gibbs is getting like 80%, 89, 88% of the work. Like, as Detroit needs the playoffs, they are just leaning hard into their workhorse.
Well, he got like 15 touches last week. He got more touches than you'd think, but he doesn't get the goal line touches like he used to. But yeah, he only had 18 snaps or 18% of the snaps last week. So even last week, it drastically dipped from what he was used to.
Yeah, I don't know if it's smart.
He at least touched the ball.
I'm willing to buy the dip.
Yeah, it might be a good week to go to it because eventually, even if we're going to make the playoffs, you can't just burn the tires at Gibbs all the time. And Montgomery's talented enough; he probably should get used a little bit more than he is. So I don't mind that play at all. Back to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think I have money to do what I need from this point on, so I'm good.
So I'm going to just take Ferguson now. I just think he's underpriced. I still think he's got like the number one kind of tight end vibe about him. Obviously, he smashed in the beginning of the year and he kind of cooled off a bit, but I still like him as a target earner as a tight end. He's one of the few tight ends I trust on the slate.
He's the only one I trust in the slate. I wanted to take him, but I was like, I need Burks more than I need Ferg, just in a salary reason.
It's a good point, Donnie. It's kind of like best ball, where it's like when there's very few guys you can trust, you got to make sure you get the one, and that's kind of how I feel about Ferguson in this slate.
Back-to-back picks, Logan.
Oh, it is back-to-back picks. All right. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos defense.
Fuck.
Smart.
I didn't think anyone was going to take defense right now. God damn it.
That's why I stood up Smith. I figured it would blow you guys off the scent because I'm like, if I take KC's running back.
Fucking Dad Logan comes in with the steel chair. I
really think there's only one really good defense. Everyone else is question marks, and maybe you get lucky, that cheap one-off defense that scores 10 or 12 points, but I think Denver is the safest.
So it's my turn?
Back to go, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, then I have to take the only other safe defense against Brosmer, and that'd be the Lions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to doubt, but in my very next pick, Logan taking the first defense is baffling, by the way.
You hit me over the head with a chair, and now I got to take a defense. This is crazy.
It's the expected value, man. I really think, even if you're building lineups, I just think Denver should be over 50%.
They are the top projected defense, so I expect them to be very close to that.
I mean, maybe at like 65%, I would consider playing other defenses. I might just lock Denver.
Yeah.
Detroit's really banged up, and I'm a Detroit fan.
I got back to back.
That's right.
I'm really here at tight end. I know I need my tight end now because I'm not going to, I'm going to put in Evan Ingram. I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about that at all. But I'm not playing Kelsey, not with that backup quarterback, and I think Denver kind of knows if they're winning this game, they're not going to let Kelsey have this great send-off game at Kansas City. His last game at Arrowhead, most likely. I don't think that's a part of Denver's plan of like letting him get sent off in a good light. So I will just go Evan Ingram.
Look, we cover the UFL. I watch preseason a lot. I paid for Red Zone for the last couple of years. I didn't know who the third string was for KC. Consider me a noob if you want, but I haven't heard a lot of people. I knew he played in like Southern Florida or something. He was like a fun prospect at one point. That's all I knew about him when he came in.
He's like an weird old, like he's been around forever, but no one knows who he is. That tells you all you need to know about this guy.
But that's the thing, Donnie. Everyone that pretty much echoed our sentiment. They're like, yeah, I heard of him, but I don't really know what to expect from him. But I know he's been around forever. That's exactly like almost everyone.
He didn't play preseason, man. Like he didn't even play in preseason.
And now they signed another one of like Andy Reid's development practice squad guys. Like, so maybe I don't blame you for wanting to get off Kelsey. Was the point?
Yeah, and I do think Denver knows like this is the last game for Kelsey at Arrowhead, most likely. Like, I don't think they're gonna want to let him do any damage, if he even can.
If I was going to say any pro Kelsey narrative, maybe it's that he's very close to some career milestones and he might retire, but that's the only thing I got. Go ahead, Gov. I can tell you got something.
Oh, no.
Nothing? Okay.
I have NBA on in the background while I'm trying to figure out our freaking lineups here.
And I got one more pick here. Wide receiver flex. Has St. Brown not been taken yet?
No,
he's on my team.
He's on. Okay, Logan took him. Then I'll take the safer pick in Sutton. Give me Sutton. Get some
my double stack.
Yeah, I took your double stack. I'm eating into your bow points. I did it to you on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna do it to you again. Let me just get all the extra what if points from you.
Fine. About to fucking draft fucking Florida, you motherfucker. This guy only catches touchdowns.
Right. Over to Gov.
Okay, so you both have a tight end, so I don't have to worry about tight end as long as I can make it fit. All right, so then just give me Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry seems like a good, solid wide receiver player. I can make all this fit. This is perfect. I'm going to have money to work with.
Okay, back to me for the double, right?
Oh, yes.
Just give me the guy that got about over 20 touches. I don't think Mason's going to play. Give me Aaron Jones. He always does really good against Detroit. I think he'll play. If he doesn't, maybe I'll play Xavier Scott. And then give me... No, I thought about going Casey, but I want to get off all Casey. I think Smith is all I want from Casey, even in my personal builds. I really think I'm fading all Casey. Give me Jameson Williams. Back to Donnie, I believe.
That would be Gov.
That's right.
All right.
Donnie, you pretty much following the same strategy, though, just staying off all KC guys. You kind of mentioned it, staying off Kelsey there, but
I think check guy I'll play. Because I think if I can get
Javonte. All right.
Screw you! No.
Javonte, right? Leave me Javonte.
No, that was my pick. That was my lock. I had it already in. That's how I said I was on it.
Well, I mean, guess who was in that same price range that I could have taken in my flex? Oh, look, Sutton.
The problem with him is he might actually sit. Like, there's rumors that Mike Davis might actually get the start. That's why I'm worried. But you'd be able to swap it if that happens.
That's true.
I did think about picking him. That was which Williams to take. And I'm like, you know what? Jameson just makes sense for the double.
All right. So I have one more pick. It has to be tight end. I know what it's going to be.
I will plug in Dallas's defense. I want to see something first, though.
Yeah, you can afford Kelsey, Donnie.
No, I'm not going. I refuse. I would go Craig Rodriguez before I went Kelsey.
It is kind of sad though because he is chasing Witten for all-time tight end receiving yards, right?
I don't think he's that close.
I'm going to be chasing someone this year. He can't catch Tony, but I think he can beat Witten. It's either receiving yards or touchdowns or something.
I want to say it's receiving yards. It was a bit far off, but with Minshew, it was likely. But now with this third string guy who can barely pass, I don't know.
I am going to be so insane. And I know Rodriguez is probably the best pick here, or McLaurin. I could go Rodriguez, McLaurin. I'm going to be crazy. Give me Malik Davis.
Wow. I think the winning upside of Donnie has went to his head. I think like the winning bubbles have just floated right to your head. The champagne's giving to you, Donnie. I don't know if you're going to win this one, man. If you do, this would be a hell of a... I don't know. This is like a miracle shot to me.
I am kind of banking on Javonte being out, and if he's not, if he's not like getting dinged up, but Malik Davis has been snaps have been drastically increased.
Okay, and our rule is so basically what you're saying is our rule is if Javonte's out now, I have to play a Dallas running back. I can't just play someone cheaper from the same game. I have to play a Dallas running back, which now there actually won't be, right? Do they even have IR, I'm playing. I'd have to play the fullback Luke.
What position do you have that running back in? What position do you have Javonte in? Is he in the flex?
He's in my flex.
I kind of argue if you put him in the flex, you can change him with the flex. How do you feel about that, Logan?
I don't even care that much.
I don't think it should be team specific or anything. You have to play someone cheaper.
I don't care.
If it's $100 cheaper in a different game at a different position, doesn't matter. You don't get to change your lineup around to make it able to go in the flex.
That's
but if multiple people late swap and we don't say anything, then we both play the same one. It'd be kind of weird. But I guess you have to.
Well, we have to coordinate that as a draft.
Okay.
I can't swap to anyone you guys already have. Like I couldn't swap to Jefferson.
The team specific thing has always been Donnie's horse. I've never wanted to die in it. So if he wants to change that for you,
we can change it. We can change it. I'm not gonna.
But if I wanted to swap to Aaron Jones and take the shot on it, I could.
Well, Logan has Aaron Jones.
I got Aaron Jones
or Jordan May or something like that.
Yeah.
But Logan would get first pick on that team if
or at
Aaron
least
Jones
it shouldn't have to be Dallas. If I want to do that and then just say, okay, well now I'm playing either Krosky, Merritt, or something.
Right.
We can. I'm fine with changing. I don't really care. It's for the fun of it.
I don't mind that you have Malik Davis to block me just in case where I can't just running back.
I think Malik Davis is getting enough work where it was I'd rather him than trying to guess which Washington running back gets in the end zone one time.
I've always thought team specific was kind of weird myself.
Well, we've never had someone block someone, so it's always been like, okay, just go to the next receiver that would take a spot.
Yeah, we're starting to get better at cage match strategy. He hit me over the head with the steel chair, so now we're both just sort of grabbing Dallas and Denver guys against each other. Logan's over here ready to win the world title as soon as you and me knock each other out with the steel chair.
If you can't tell, this Dallas game I really like.
It's my pick, right?
Yes.
I will take Travis here.
Yeah.
Wait, is it your pick or my pick?
It would have been.
You just picked, right, Donnie?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I just picked. So
it would have been your pick. Okay,
so it's my pick.
Well, don't worry.
If
you want Travis Kelce, you can take that decision.
The only thing I have fit, it's what I had planned. I'm like, wait, how did this not work? I should be the next one picking, and I have Travis Kelce.
Believe me, you're saving me probably a bullet.
And that finishes my lineup out, and I spent a decent amount of money. That lineup's not actually bad.
I was gonna be right if I could get Javonte, and I would have only had a couple hundred left, but no.
Fair, I would probably build this exact same lineup, but I would change Javonte to Sutton, and then play the the Dallas defense or the Broncos defense.
Yeah.
Instead of the Lions. But like I can't because of the cage match.
In full transparency, the guy that Andy Reid brought in for KC to compete, I think, has a chance to actually start. He's more of a pocket passer. I haven't done a ton of research yet this week, but that would actually make me like Kelsey more, but I haven't got confirmation on who that is. So that makes me want to stay off of all Kansas City guys, but I do think Travis Kelce slipped into the last round.
Oh, Shane got brought back. What's his name? I don't forget how to pronounce his last name. But yeah, that is the guy he likes.
Yeah, it's just one of Andy Reid's like fun development guys, kind of like the Lions with Hooker for many years.
Shane's been there forever. He knows the playbook, so yeah, that is.
So that's what I'm saying. If it's him, maybe you bump up Kelsey a little bit, but even then, I want to stay off of mostly KC guys. Okay, so now Samuel's still available, isn't he?
Yes.
Let me just plug in Debo.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I'm the one guy who usually having the most salary left has been a bad omen. But like I said, I just like Davis more than I like any of the Washington backs, not knowing who it's going to be.
There's been a lot of value that opened up because of injury.
I was about to say, you took Brashard Smith, you took Treylon Burks, and I didn't actually have to take anyone sub 4K. But I also didn't get anyone like Gibbs or St. Brown on the high end.
Yeah.
By the way, I do want to say, I don't think I'll play it, but I'm not scared of getting to playing both Gibbs and Monty this week. I think it could easily hit if it's just bashing. So I guess that's something I want to point out. There's certain things in this slate.
That Minnesota game will be like they think Minnesota will just be caving with the third.
Like, is it crazy to just play Denver's defense and have both their running backs and say these guys are one's gonna go off early, the second one's gonna get carries late? I don't think so.
And like honestly, looking at our lineups, like this slate is kind of weird because all three of our lineups honestly look viable.
Yeah, this is my lineup.
My one change would be play Javonte instead of the backup to him, Davis.
And also Donnie's.
Like that, and that would make up for most of my salary issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should just like be playing like Chris Rodriguez or something. Like you should. Malik Davis is your one cheap guy that like is making your lineup meh.
Yeah,
and it could be any 43, 53, 63. Like you have the money where like you just play Rice. Hope he plays.
Yeah, you just never know with the Javonte neck injury. You just don't know.
Davis works, but you would need Williams out. Like this lineup, like
no, because Davis has been getting a good amount of snap work.
You think he's good even if Williams plays? I wouldn't co-sign him being a good play even if Williams plays.
Well, I mean, there's no way I would intentionally do it in like a real lineup. No.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying like he's getting like Javonte's getting 57% and Malik Davis has been getting 34% in 1 week. The week that Javonte only played half the game, Malik Davis had 53% of snaps. So, like, if Williams isn't a full go, then they will just play Davis.
So, any other notes we want to give the people before we send them off for the happy holidays?
Don't play Max. Please don't play Max Brosmer. Come on. Let's be real. That's the only thing I have.
I think I'd play Max before I play Johnson, but maybe not given Johnson.
No.
You saved $700, so maybe you need it.
I played Johnson before I played any of the other backups.
Interesting. I mean, there's still
the ownership says that as well, by the way.
JD's been rolled out officially, so he's out. I just think I'll stick with the three that we fit into lineups. I don't think I'll and usually I pay down for quarterbacks, but usually that's such an advantage on a larger slate. Like we've seen the 4K quarterback on a larger slate payoff. On a smaller slate like this, it goes right. It's more like showdown. I think you're getting too cute if you do it that way. But
yeah, you're chasing something that isn't there against good defenses.
Gov, you got any other any other football takes before we wish these people happy holidays and happy Hanukkah and get us out of here?
Not really. Not football takes. I'm hoping it's a good day, just like Thanksgiving. Let's hope for a really good day of games. Let's hope for a good day with your family.
Yeah. That's actually.
Yeah, happy holidays and peace out, everyone.
Yeah, have fun with these slates. That's what I was going to say. Find some way to have fun with them, but don't take them too serious. Maybe you win some money, have a nice little eggnog at the end of the night for the people. Good night, guys.